Hey, I don't know about the rest of you out there, but sometimes I get a trading bug up my ass a bit, and I want to trade off one gun for another because I want something new and I'm tired of something I already have. Well, I had that 4-inch Kimber, the Kimber Pro, the Aegis. I had it with the red dot on it, and I'm just like, I can never find a good holster for it with a red dot. They're a little unbalanced with the red dot, and I don't carry a 4-inch 1911, so why did I even buy this? So I thought, well, I'll trade it off. And someone on my local forum had this. Something I've always wanted, a 45 Colt railgun. Always wanted one of these. I've never found one in stock when I had money, and when I had money, I could never find one. Same old story. So I went ahead and traded it off. Now, this has got some holster wear, and it had some scratches. In fact, I've already been cleaning it up some. That's why my fingers are so dirty here. Brushed it down real good just to make sure there's no serious damage anywhere that I had to sand out, and there's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few changes to this gun. Let you see here the before, and then I'll show you the after. Now, before, of course, it's got regular sights on it, it's got wood grips, and it's got no magwell. So I'm going to put on a magwell, I'm going to put on some nicer grips, I'm going to refinish the gun with a nice bead blast finish, and then maybe repolish the slide here, the flats of the slide, but I haven't decided yet. Now, one thing that does have to come out of here, of course, is this mainspring housing, and when I put a new magwell on it, I'll change that out, because these are plastic. I never understood why they put plastic ones of these on here, on these Colts. Such a nice gun, and then they put that plastic piece in there. Now, these aren't super tight like my other 1911, some of the ones I got, and they're a little loose, but these are made to run like crazy. So these make great carry guns. So thought I'd pretty it up a little bit and then see how it looks, and maybe this will be my alternate carry gun. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is take off the grips and take off the sights and get it ready for bead blasting. Yeah, it's starting to get easy to turn. All right, she's all apart here and the sights are out. So now I'm going to start bead blasting. I will have to take the slide down a little bit more, but I'm not going to take it down any further than I have to. And then, like I said, I'll bead blast this all down, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to polish the sides here or not. Okay, I've got it all bead blasted now. As you can see, it's kind of a dull gray. If you've ever seen the Colts, they use a dull gray finish. They don't use a real satiny bead blast. They use kind of, like I said, a harder bead blast, which makes it a more rough gray looking. I went a little less rough than they do. It's a little more satiny, but I'm still going to do the two-tone. I'm going to polish the flats here on the slide, so there'll be a little bit of difference between the flats and the other parts of the gun. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. Just got to put the shine back on the flats here. Now, putting the brush back on the flats might seem like a hard job, but it's not. I've just got some wet dry sandpaper here, just laying it down, putting a little oil on the paper, actually getting it good and heavy with oil. Then I take the slide, I just lay it flat, and then I use anything with a flat side, like this little box here, to just guide it as I just go backwards and forwards, applying pressure evenly down on the slide. Okay, I've just about got it where I want it. So now I'm going to take it in the house and finish it up. Since I started this video, we've gotten 14 inches of snow on the ground outside. So I want to go in the house where it's a little warmer and finish this up. I'll just finish putting the brush on the slide, and then I'll put all this back together, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, here is the completely refinished gun. Also, as you can tell, I'm not sick anymore, so I've lost my deep, sexy voice, so that's not a good thing. But, well, I guess it's good that I'm not sick anymore, but I kind of like the raspy voice. But, as I said, completely finished now. I've replaced everything I wanted to replace. As well as refinishing the gun, I've also put new sights on it. These are the big dot sights. These are the little dot the eye sights. I much prefer these to 3-dot sights. And the dot that goes on that eye is really big, and that is great for old guys like myself whose eyesight isn't what it used to be. So really like these a lot better. Now, a lot of people are afraid of changing out sights because they think it's very difficult. It is not difficult. You can do it with just a hammer and a brass punch. But if you have a tool to do it with, that makes it even easier sometimes. Although sometimes I think the hammer and the brass punch are easier. The main thing to remember is to actually fit the sights. A lot of people think you just take the sights out of the package and pound them in, and that's how you get sights that'll never come out again. What you do is you take them out, you take a little piece of sandpaper that's made for metal, put a little oil on it, just start sanding the bottom of the sight until it fits in the slot properly, goes in about halfway, then you tap it the rest of the way in. They have little lips on the bottom that allow them a little bit of extra wiggle room. It gives them a little bit of metal that can be taken away to make them fit properly, and a lot of people forget that step. Now this gun's already got a little bit of scratching on it because I've had it in a holster for a couple of days because I've been taking it to the range and drawing it from the holster. You'll always get a little wear on your finish if you have a polished flat if you're actually drawing from a leather holster. That's just to be expected, but since this is going to be a carry gun, I don't really care if it gets a little bit of surface abrasion. I just wanted it to look good overall, and it does look really good overall now. Now, one thing I did do, I'll show you here. I took the little Colt pony emblem off the back here of the slide because Colt, for some reason, is horrible about engraving those. They seem like they're barely engraved on and they're not evenly engraved. You'll get a couple little deep spots and then you'll get just like light scratching. So they don't look good, especially once you've refinished your slide. So I just took that completely off. I'm also considering just taking this completely off. You can always buy another slide for like 160 bucks if you want to, but I'm thinking about taking this completely off also. It wouldn't take much to take it off. Colt doesn't engrave very deeply. You won't even affect the weight of the slide much. You won't have to adjust your spring tension. If you do take off enough that you have to adjust the spring, it's a small adjustment to make the gun just as reliable as it ever was. Now, if you're not comfortable doing that type of thing, don't do that type of thing. But if you are, really easy thing to do. And as you can see, I changed out that mainspring housing I wanted to change out and put the magwell on there that I wanted to put on it, as well as putting on some new grips from ND Grips. I got another pair of the bark grips, the elk antler grips with some bark on them. Think it looks really good on this gun, classic grips. So there you have it. It is refinished. The surfaces are nice and matte where they're supposed to be matte. They're brushed where they're supposed to be brushed. It's got a few additions like some nice grips, a magwell, a metal mainspring housing. This gun here now is ready for carry. And like I said, I've already had it to the range a few times and it's doing really well as far as shooting. I actually tested it out in a live chat the other day with a little desk pop. So the gun is awesome. I always have wanted one of these, and now that it's refinished and looking good, this is something I would definitely put in my holster anytime I carried, especially if I was going to a rally and I wanted to open carry. This would be the gun I want people to see me with. Oops.
Go ahead. It's a lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road.
Station 1 call, retone that please. 10-4. Captain 4 to go to that location also. This is 1-9, is that correct?